Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome or welcome back to Stars Aligned Oracle YouTube channel. Cat Star here with your general reading for the week of May 30th through June 5th. As a reminder, my readings are for entertainment and are general in nature. They may or may not resonate for everybody, so please do take what is for you and leave what isn't. For those of you liking and sharing the videos, thank you so much. It does help others to be able to see these messages that might not otherwise. All right, we got some different decks going on. We're going to get some pointer cards for this week moving into June here for you and see what is happening, what is going on, what is coming in for you in this time, during this time actually, Aquarius. So you have, what do you need to release? You have the crumbling. Ooh, kind of the tower there. And you have talent. All right, let's go ahead and get some tarot to go on top of that and see. Isn't that interesting? All right, well, yeah, I guess you got 4 cards for that first one. Okay, interesting how it always plays out here. Let's see, what else does Aquarius need to know? Okay, just a whole bunch of stuff jumping out here for you. For this time, Aquarius. Now, those two are the ones that tried to come out. Interesting. Wow. Wow. Okay, let's move some of these guys out of the way here. Okay, Aquarius, so you have a waning moon. What do you need to release? Super funny because over here you also have the moon, Aquarius. So with that waning moon, something needs to be released. You've been holding on to something. You have been reminiscing, ruminating about something, and you will know right off the bat within your gut, within yourself, what this is referring to, because it is something that either you have been putting way too much attention on, or something you have been trying to shove down that really needs to be dealt with and or released. What tends to happen when we pay too much attention on something, Aquarius, is that we call that in more so in our life. When we are working very hard to ignore or shove something down, it tends to manifest within our life in different situations, different scenarios, or different patterns that continue to play out. So whatever first came to mind for you within this, Aquarius, within this portion of the reading is exactly what needs to be released during this time for you. So let's see what else, what other information is coming through. You have the 8 of Wands and you have the Temperance. So within that 8 of Wands, Aquarius, this is the momentum and how you have been potentially slowing yourself down within holding on to whatever this is or not releasing it. There's an imbalance with that Temperance card there, that imbalance, that impatience almost that this has been bringing upon you, and or within situations, within experiences, within patterns that continue to show up, and you're like, why does this keep happening? It's because you've been slowing down the momentum by holding on to this, ruminating on it, and or not releasing it. It is time for you to let that go so that you can, in fact, balance out what is going on, balance out your reality, let that go, release it, so that this actually has um, the availability or the ability to really move through you and release the patterns that potentially keep playing out, if that in fact resonates for you. Within that also you have the Page of Cups and the Emperor. Interesting dynamic here. Within that Page of Cups, Aquarius, you have this kind of idea of how you thought things were supposed to be, and within that Emperor there's a lot of control. You have really been working towards controlling what you thought this was supposed to look like, as I knock everything over here, what you thought this was supposed to look like, this very idealistic kind of idea and this control that you have been holding on to within this matter that really does need to be released, to be let go of, Aquarius. You've been working hard, you've been creating that energy where there is no way that there can be movement past or through this because you've been holding on so tightly, and where there isn't going to be at this point any balance or harmony within that temperance card back here as well to be able to move through this. Controlling with an iron fist, Aquarius, and or having this idea of how things are meant to be with regards to the certain situation is hurting you. It is time to release it. Ooh, kind of hard here in the beginning, Aquarius. Although at the same time, we need to hear this information. Now, you also have the crumbling. What are you clinging on to? Do you see different decks, Aquarius, coming out with the same thing? What do you need to release? What are you clinging on to? This energy is coming through in different decks here, Aquarius, in such strong energy. It's speaking volumes. And again, this is not an actual tower card, excuse me, but it is definitely resembling a tower card within an oracle card here, Aquarius. There is so much information coming through. Unfortunately, you have been holding on too tightly, grasping, clinging, trying to control something within your life that needs to be released. Let go. Let this go. Release that control. Let momentum come in. Let there be a balancing out. Let there be this reforming of what is actually left in its wake, Aquarius. Oh, I feel out of breath. I feel like I feel like I am under this kind of deep layer of pressure. And unfortunately, I also have this feeling, this knowing within myself for you, Aquarius, that this is self-imposed. We've got to let that go. So something needs to be released. It needs to be let go of, Aquarius, and you are the only one that can do that for yourself. Continuing to hold on to it is not doing you any favors. Now you also have the Chariot, the Strength card, and the Hanged Man. So there's this may feel like a sacrifice for you. It may feel like you need a lot of courage to do this, Aquarius, and that actually may be true for you. And yet it needs to be done. You need to move into this new journey with the Chariot. Have the courage to move into that new journey and let this go. Again, with the Hanged Man, this is potentially sacrificing, but it definitely is letting go. Having that courage, having that strength to move into this journey, in letting this go, in releasing this, in letting it fall to the ground, to crumble, if you will, Aquarius, instead of clinging on to it, is going to set you on a new powerful trajectory. It is going to bring an aura or a feeling of inspiration. It is going to bring an aura or a feeling of empowerment when you're no longer feeling almost suffocated or out of breath. Like I said, that's how I'm feeling. Like this is taking your energy away, Aquarius. But again, the energy around it feels very much like you are doing it to yourself. So it's time to let it go. Breathe it out, let it go, and begin this new journey with a new kind of passion or a new drive that can take you into this almost this new momentum, this new balance, this new harmony. Wow, Aquarius, this energy feels very heavy, and yet on the other side, after taking that breath, it feels very cleansing and very nurturing, which is beautiful for that. Now, you also have talent here. So within this, Aquarius, what is coming through is that this holding on to this not releasing, this clinging is really, really having an impact on you within many layers, and one of that is talent. Some of you may be feeling as if you have nothing to give, as if you aren't in a place where you're very potentially creative or just feeling stifled. That is going to take a turn. That talent, that really creative energy, that flow, that alignment will return to you, right? When there isn't kind of a rock blocking the stream here, Aquarius. So releasing this, letting this go, not clinging on to this, letting the control or holding on to, letting all that go, Aquarius, is going to bring back that balance, that momentum, and that creative spark that some of you potentially feel like you have been kind of lacking in. Also, there's this procrastination energy that's coming through. And once you release this, Aquarius, once you set yourself free, right? Because that's what this is all about, is setting yourself free. Then that rock in that stream is removed, and that creative energy, that passion, that drive returns almost just so quickly, almost as if it was never gone. But you have to be willing, Aquarius, to do the work and to let this go, to release it, to stop clinging, to stop trying to control this situation. Again, as we talked about at the very, very beginning, you know what this is about, Aquarius. It is not coming through for me within this reading what it's actually about, because you already have that information. Nobody needs to tell you what this is in regards to, Aquarius, because you already know. Okay, so that talent is going to be returning. Now, within that, you have the moon. So there's some shadow stuff that is obviously needs to be dealt with and be taken care of. Some shadow stuff that is being revealed, some shadow stuff that you are looking through, some shadow stuff that you are releasing, some shadow stuff and some illusion, right? Back here with that Page of Cups, that idealistic kind of idea of how things were meant to be. You're looking through that, you're letting that go. You know what? Sometimes things don't work out. Sometimes we're rejected from something so that something better can come in. Really letting go of this whole idea of holding on to this, of clinging to this, of trying to control whatever this is and or make it into something that it never was, because of the ideas or the visions that you held. Yes, better things fall into place, Aquarius. Yes, holding visions, holding thoughts towards something. And yet, when it's time to let something go, you you know can let it go. You can let it go. And there's times where it feels like that is not the case. There's times where it comes across as feeling like a failure, feeling like you're giving up or quitting, right? That kind of thing. And there's a whole kind of area, or this whole kind of idea around that sort of stuff, where never be a quitter and don't. But yet we kind of end up knowing when it's run its course and it's time for us to embark on a new journey, Aquarius. And that is what is coming through for you, that creative energy, that creative spark, that talent that has been working so hard to come through has potentially been hidden in the shadows, and it is ready to come out. It is ready to embark on the new journey. Wow, this, the energy went from one of feeling suffocated or breathless, right, into this kind of tingling energy of all that is possible for you here, Aquarius. And then within that, you also have the Queen of Wheels, which is the Queen of Pentacles. And this is really knowing that you can step into your power at any time, Aquarius. You can take your power back. You can release whatever isn't working, whether people consider that quitting something or a failure of sorts. That doesn't have to be your thought on the situation. When it's time to come to a completion of something, Aquarius, we get to decide that. We don't have to continue clinging on to something that has already run its shelf life or run past that expiration date. We can say, you know what, this is a completion. It doesn't mean, that I failed. And of course, as far as my thought is on failure, is that it's feedback. There is no failure. We just get to learn what works, what doesn't work, where we can pivot. And that is exactly what is coming through for you with that, Aquarius, is that you get to, there's times where continuing down that same path, continuing down that same way doesn't actually lead to that destination or where you thought it would. And there's times where it needs to be pivoted. So that the Queen of Wheels here is really coming in with this knowing, with this comforting and this permission to allow yourself to move on to the journey, to let go, to release, to move back into that creative energy, that creative spark, and really allow yourself to breathe, to balance things out, to have that harmony, and to call your power back to you, Aquarius. This is a very, very powerful powerful reading in that it is really kind of calling you to the table and letting you know that you do have the power to release this. You do have the power to stop clinging and stop controlling and to call your power back to you and to have that comfort in knowing that failure is not failure. It's just feedback. It just gives you that information so you can change things, so you can pivot things, and that you can do whatever it is. You can bring things out of the shadow, you can heal them, and you can bring back that natural balance within your life. And what's actually coming on or coming through here with this Aquarius, with that balance, is that you haven't been doing the stuff. You haven't been taking the steps. You haven't been releasing. You haven't been, letting go of control. You've potentially been ruminating. You have been clinging on to things. And so now Spirit, Divine, is coming in, stepping in kind of as a fated thing, right? Because you haven't done it. So they're like, okay, Spirit is saying, it is time for me to step in, Aquarius, to get you back on track, to balance out the scales, so to say. The scales have potentially been kind of wonky, one up here and one down here, and you're still holding, right? And it's getting out of. Spirit is saying, I'm going to step in, and it's time to balance this shit out, Aquarius. It's time to let go, stop clinging, let go of control, and move back into momentum. Ooh, all right. Well, I do intend that resonated with you and for you. If it did, please do hit that like button and share this video. It does help others to be able to see these messages that might not otherwise. Also, feel free to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time I upload new readings. It is free for you to subscribe to the channel, and it does help support the channel and the community. As always, I do wish you lots of hope, lots of joy, and lots of love with all of your current and future endeavors. I'll see you in the next reading.